Alright, welcome back to another episode of Art Time, where today we're going to be working on the first clue. And it's the Courier, or Courier, however the hell that name was pronounced. Yeah, the Courier. The messenger entity, that of which is going to be giving the unknown entity trackers a clue on a certain entity. But I got stuff and whatnot. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Alright, so, anywho's and wits, we have the swatch pretty much already set for this, but I gotta try to remember where everything went. I think this was, well, we should probably call this the ear, despite the fact that I'm pretty sure that's not the ear, but, you know, it's the only thing I can think of right now. Right now. Yeah, it seems about right. So, the mysterious entity. I'm pretty sure I've told you about this being before, but it's a being that is considered to be the strongest in all the universes. And it's really, really powerful. However, the mysterious entity is faded from not our world. It's faded from existence, as if his powers were like drained. We don't know why, and we don't know what's the cause for it. All we know is that the mysterious entity is not at full power, but that doesn't mean that he can be stopped. Nope, he's still whoops, that's fine. He is still a force to be reckoned with. There we go. Alright, now that's fixed. So anyways, this is a messenger entity. Basically, as far as we know, some being relating towards the mysterious entity. We've seen things before like this, with that one drawing I did long ago. Oh, I wouldn't say long ago, but it was definitely... Actually, I don't know when. Album 36. We got to see at least one of the entity's beings, i.e. the Guardians, meant to protect the curses from falling into anyone's hands. Then, of course, we've seen this guy, if I can remember which one that was. It was a long time ago, and it was an old drawing, so I'm probably going to have a hard time trying to find it. Was it 21? Man. It's an old drawing. 20? No, 20 was the mature drawing folder, where a lot of mature drawings were made. What's 17? Jesus fucking Christ, where was it? Where are you? Where are you? Why can't I find you? 21? No, I already looked at 21. 22. I can't find him. I don't know when I would have drawn him. Maybe 25? No. Maybe 26? No. 27? Where the frick did I draw you? When did I draw this thing? I brought it up before. That's the problem with having so many freaking drawings here. Alright, I need a life alert. What was his name again? Ah, shit. Can't remember the name of this entity. No. Dimension Hopper. Wait, yeah. Dimension Hopper. There you go. Where the fuck are you? 37. Okay, good. Great. 37. Man, that's sooner than I thought. Actually, as a matter of fact, that's one above Deus Ex, the Guardian. Yeah, then we saw this thing, the Dimension Hopper, right over here. And then later on, we've seen the Courier himself. I forgot which one this was. Here we are, 43. The Courier himself, right here, alongside Friends OC. So, obviously, this entity is at least somewhat similar to the mysterious entity. Not entirely completely. It's like the same species, but from like a completely different generation, I guess you would probably say it. And, yeah. That is essentially this entity's, origin over here. Being ancestor from, you know, the mysterious entity. But it's not like, you know. I guess the best way to describe it is ancestor. What's the opposite of ancestor? Descendants? Yeah, a descendant from the mysterious entity's like generation, wherever it was. It's like a criminal, essentially. The mysterious entity is considered a criminal. The only difference with this criminal is you can't really do anything to stop him. And it makes sense. The mysterious entity is a being full of great power. For anybody to stop him, they would need to have similar power, and that's impossible. And even so, if you can stop him, his soul will just revert to a weaker form that cannot be touched by anyone. You can't even contain his soul. There's no containment. It's the issue with beings that have a certain power that makes it so that you can't contain them. Really makes it difficult to try to, you know, contain certain beasts and whatnot. Oh. Shit. How the hell do I not notice these half the times? I guess I could probably adjust this a bit to make it look like this instead. No, you fool. Grab the thing. And there. Now all I gotta do is this. Delete these bits. And this bit. And combine these. There we go. So anyways, this entity over here has a clue for, you know, Reginald's entire group. You remember Reginald Franklin. Oh wait, you don't remember Reginald Franklin? Well, that makes sense. We haven't drawn anything from the, what do you call it? Oh, wait a minute, this is... First of all, okay, I guess I can keep this here. First of all, this is wrong. This needs to be brought over a little bit more. Right? Yeah, because you're a little bit more under here, so that means you would probably be here. Yeah, we haven't drawn a single episode of Reginald's Macabre cases on YouTube. This was, you know, we started YouTube after the hiatus, which is insane. It's been over a year since I've drawn anything from Reginald's Macabre cases. A lot of the things that we drew are heavily consistent of the demon realm. So, yeah, definitely good to soon get back to that somewhere in April. Somewhere in April, you get to see an entity, a creation of mine that is a bit more, how you say, deadly. So, yeah. Yeah, I'd say that this is, you know, whoops, Pevlis. What to say? No, not Jesus! Not Pelevvis or Pelvivs. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to type anymore. Whoops. Wait a minute. Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense. So, yes, he's giving us a hint. The first clue. And this is already out, so you will get what that first clue is. The first clue about the mysterious entity is that it is the cause for the awakening. And what is the awakening, you may ask? It's a very special event that is a little bit more, let's just say, detrimental for an entire universe. Any universe hit by this is liable to have all life go extinct on it. So the awakening essentially brings forth dozens and thousands, more likely. Most is the better explanation. Not even thousands, millions, billions, quadrillions of murderous entities of all forms, of all shapes and sizes. Anything capable of murdering a bunch of people, of causing mayhem, chaos, and destruction. That, my friends, is the awakening. Every entity I've made, every horror villain that was made by everybody else, every monster, every demon, anything. This is what the awakening is. It's an entire chaotic event where all life is in danger from all of these monstrosities. Not just humanity, but animals, insects, aliens, anything. Anything and everyone is affected by this event in the universe. Now, this is obviously difficult to keep control of, because you have a whole bunch of creatures out there who are ready and raring to destroy anything they can get their hands on. As soon as the event begins, it'll be the worst instance of death you will see. There will be like a handful of people trying to survive, and even then their survival is moot and pointless, because it won't matter. The creatures will somehow find a way to get inside of whatever safe hole you're in. And that would be the end of you. The only way you would be able to survive an event like this if you were to somehow be able to hop to a different dimension, a different universe. And who's to say that that won't happen again in the universe that you are in? It is a very dangerous and deadly event. One that is capable of killing off all life in a matter of an hour or so. Or less, or more. Depends on how resourceful some people are. Some entities are impossible to kill. Just imagine all of the creations that we've made for horror deciding to become real in our reality and killing everybody off. It would be a bloodshed, a nightmare, perpetual darkness, everything. The sun will blot out. There will be no light. All the stars, gone. Everything in light, gone. Outside of, unnatural lighting. Those stay. Some might get, broken or taken out. Depends, really. But everything is just pretty much gone. So, yeah. That's very fun, isn't it? I think we could take solace in the fact that because of our creations, the mysterious entity will use our creations as fuel for his awakenings. And of course, hopefully that means that we will be safe. And also, all of our horniness will make us safe. Could you freaking imagine? Imagine a world where, those that really despise pornography or horror, gore, or anything like that got their way and banned all of that to a point where you can't even think about it. Or else people will call some church police on you. Our universe is doomed then, if that occurs. Because the mysterious entity will then transform our universe into a haven for all entities and monsters alike. Just imagine the creatures you'll see. You can see Siren Head, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, whatever other modern horror villains there are. Hellraiser, probably. I don't know. Outside of that, you got, the entities that I've created. I could probably show you one of them right now. The shredded skin, this thing, using its blades to shred your skin. There is the abducting trafficker, this thing right here. Definitely don't want to come across that for your own mental health. Trust me, you don't want to know what that is. Was there more? Oh, I know there's more. There's the optical walker, this thingy. Slowly consumes your flesh over time as well as the metal destroying every camera inside of a factory. You know, that. The merging mire, this monstrosity, this horror show right here in the swamps, or anywhere really. It could be anywhere. What else? Do I have another one on this albums folder? No? I'm going to go to 41 then. Sure, I got something in 41. No, that's the Demon Realm. Where is... the Cancer Eater is a bit more on our side, so once we go near it, it eats cancer. So if you got a tumor inside your head, don't worry. This thing will eat that from a distance. Living on the North Pole. Literally the North Pole side of the planet. Like, it's dead center north. I guess the best way for me to describe it. Do I have another entity here to show off? I know I have another. The unzipping excavator. This monstrosity, my god. Sometimes I can't believe I was able to create something so grotesque. But, you know, that's what Reginald's Macabre cases is all about. Oh, the overclocked suitor. Anybody forcing people to do overtime, be careful, because they might turn into this thing. I think, if I remember correctly, his screeches caused you to have a heart attack. I think. It's been a while since I've looked into these entities and even bothered reading their case files. The smothering terracotta. This thing is literally just a clay ball. Not this. That's the person who died from it. It's a clay ball that as soon as it comes into contact with any part of your body, it merges atoms. So imagine it getting into your head. It's just like the lights out. Immediate. Body limp. There's no blood anymore coming through your skin. Going through your body, I mean, not skin. Oh, the creeping corpse. It's like the weeping willow, whatever the fuck those weeping angels, that's what it was. Where you look at it and, but this hit through a fucking wall. And this poor girl, I swear. These poor people who are dying. There's like this one guy who got his arm bent in the wrong direction from one of the demons in the Demon Realm. Yeah, I showed you the Dimension Hopper, but that's not. This Pixel Screamer. This one's interesting. And the funny thing is, it came from something else. Alright, that's enough for now. But I'll tell you a little bit about the Pixel Screamer, because that one was interesting. How that came to be. The Pixel Screamer came to be from this weird little bit in my head with Family Guy, where it's basically just, 2D pixels, like 2D version of, Peter in the NASCAR thing where he says go in a circle and it sounds like it's, I guess, game-like. You know that one where he's like, I'm in the game too? It sounds like that. The only difference is when he gets to the part where he screams go in a circle, it's his face turns into that thing that you just saw. So that's where it came from. Believe it or not, it literally came from this weird freaking alteration of a freaking Family Guy cutaway gag into something so horrifying, where it's basically just turns the world pixelated around it in a particular range and whatnot. Anything making loud noises will cause the pixels inside of that instance of the loud noise, like the mouth, for instance, to explode into a mouth. A gaping mouth, a gaping maw. And I think what it does is creates a silent scream that causes pixels to just encompass the entire, it causes the entire world to pixelize around it for a moment. And it's deafening silence. Anything making any form of noise, yeah, that's dead. Any loud noises, at least. You can probably talk like this. When you talk like this, just turn. There's the thing right there, and you don't move. Anything that's in this does not move. My face isn't here right now. It's a gaping hole. Right now, it's my soul talking. Hey, I'm the soul. The head's not moving. I'm the soul. I don't know. And there's a thing where if you try to destroy a Pixel Screamer, it causes a massive screech that turns everything in the area pixelated. So it's not just a case where if you are silent, it will not, cause any noise. If you somehow manage to destroy something that has that mouth on it, you're gone. Everything within however big of a radius is gone. You could combat against it by essentially having soundproof walls. It seems like the screams reach a specific distance sound-wise. So if you were able to kind of block the sound out and, have no way that sound can get in, then you, theoretically speaking, should be okay. You would need to figure out how to get oxygen inside of your area. I mean, you gotta grow a bunch of trees. Anybody cutting down trees, obviously, are going to be convicted to the fullest extent of the law because that's your oxygen source. Unless you have a very specific area somewhere in a distance. I mean, that would be difficult, wouldn't it? Because chances are the Pixel Screamer can reach pretty far. Maybe it wouldn't reach in the caves as easily unless you find a cave untouched by the surface. Unless you can find a cave that is literally just here's the tunnel, or here's the surface, here's the tunnel, it's only this area. And imagine having to, open up an area with your pickaxe, then Pixel Screamer just... Oh yeah, that's another thing. If a giant boulder is falling, if it's making enough noise, I don't know how it would make enough noise, but if it makes enough noise, say another boulder hits into it, and then it just gets stopped there. A giant mouth right where the boulder's noise is, and it stays there, in midair, at that. It is is terrifying to deal with things like that. The smothering terracotta is also terrifying. Two things that are pretty small in the way they work. Small in the sense that they are, not that, large in size. It's a small entity that somehow manages to take over an entire planet. And it takes over everything, both of them. In their own way, too. For instance, the smothering terracotta locates anything that has a head. No, does not go after your dick. It has to go after your head, your brain. Sure, you can get it caught on your arm. I would imagine the sensation is numbness, pins, and needles. Immense pain or something. It's hard to explain. I don't think we ever had anybody experience atoms merging together with something. So much so that it kind of just takes over pretty much every single function in that. If you get a terracotta, if it's one coming after you here, you dodge it, there goes your right arm, limp. It's probably going to fall off at some point. Maybe not immediately, but it's probably going to fall off. You worry about it being a painful death when it catches you, don't worry. As soon as it merges with your head, it's just immediate lights out. It's black. I would try to block the camera screen, but I don't want a glare to show up because this thing has... It might either have a smudge on it or something. See, it has a smudge right now. You can see that line right there. Annoying. Well, it's already too late. It's like that. Yep, see, there it goes. There it goes. Well, anyways, smothering terracotta comes to your head, and it's that. Well, not that. It's this. Nope. Why are you showing red? Stop showing red. That did not fix it. As a matter of fact, it made that glare worse. There we go. I think. Awesome. Good. Fixed the problem. So, yeah. And I believe the thing was, it took whatever it grabbed to a facility underneath the planet. A surface. So it's it somehow manages to create a giant facility beneath the planet that goes around it. Around. With a bunch of structural support, of course, to be able to keep the facility in check, as well as, probably for patrols and whatnot. Potentially. Hard to say, really. But their main objective is to take over every being on the planet. Now, I can't remember exactly what they did. If you want to look up that, then you can go look that up. It's been a while since I've made them. But it was definitely something. It was definitely something. I don't remember what, caused me to make that. I can't remember the inspiration for that one. Pixel Screamers were pretty easy for me to remember inspiration of because it was ridiculous enough to where it was like, yeah, there's no way I can't forget the origins of the Pixel Screamers. Something that was pretty funny and weird, although, I don't know. Just seeing this one guy who was, pixelated. Unless the people there were, used to it and were just, silent. Then again, I don't think anybody would be able to do any race car stuff. Because then the car would just stop in mid-place. You would fling forward. Oh, God, could you imagine? Could you freaking imagine? The car just stops midway. Doesn't do anything. If you smash through the window, you're probably going to get too, and you'll be mid-smashed through the window. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. Unless it stops it at the perfect time where you where the pixels aren't there, and you smash through the way. Even so, you're dead either way. You can either die from flying through the windshield, or die and turn into this thing. Which, who knows if you're even still alive or not. It's hard to say. You might be, you might not be. You might be conscious, or your soul is no longer there. Or it might be trapped inside of that body. I don't know. Are you considered a corpse at that point? Hard to say, really. But the Pixel Screamers are definitely something that's a bit unique that I have not seen yet. Which is good. It's good. I sometimes come up with unique stuff, but other times, I have, dreams and daydreams of some entities that I can use. I think that's the thing, though. Most of these entities are from dreams. If I can find this one quick enough, I can show you another entity or two. Yeah, the Time Linker is definitely something that's a bit interesting. What this thing does, is it connects you to all realities of yourself. And it takes all of the pain that you feel in those realities. There's a bunch of high schoolers dying right here. You can see some of them in the back. This thing is definitely something that you don't want to be touched by. It phases through your body and links your entire realities together. In one reality, you get your arm chopped off. Now you get to feel that. You get to feel that pain on top of all the other pains. And there's infinite possibilities of you feeling pain. Imagine that. Imagine the amount of pain that you would feel after being touched by that thing. Your body wouldn't be able to withstand it. And the worst thing is, you can't die. Once you're touched by this thing, you're basically made immortal by it. And to forever feel the pain of being maimed, cut up, punched, whatever happens. You feel that for as long as whatever eternity is. Yep. Time Linker is definitely a very strange entity. I think also there were some, similarities to the mysterious entity, but without any of the facial features that most of his kind has. Needless to say, it is definitely a close... It has to be a creation of the mysterious entity. Or me? I don't know. I might have created it, or the mysterious entity created it. I might have created a mysterious entity, or the mysterious entity let myself know let me know of its existence. That's the thing. We don't know. We think our creations are of our own volitions, but, they might have if it's, normal people, then, yeah, that would be considered our creations. At that point, I would be considered their god. Not anything special, unless I'm in that universe and I somehow can make things occur that most people can't. Like, the steak is in my hand. Ooh, in that universe, the steak is in my hand, but in this universe, I'm not the god, so obviously I can't just conjure up a steak from my hand. I can conjure up an apple in my mind, but not a steak in my hand. I can think about a steak in my hand. It's hard to see. Yep, there it is. That's steak in my hand. It's very blurry, though. Not blurry, darkened. Yep. Yep, darkened indeed. Also probably because our eyes are assaulted with the light. Am I able to show you another entity before we move on to the next part? Was it 35? There's the blight cortex. This thing. If I remember correctly, this guy literally came from this freaking Flintstones thing that I created, where everything in the world, I think, turned like black and white, and everybody caught inside of whatever the blight is turned into these weird zombies with white, white, light gray skin, dark, like no eye holes or eye sockets, or no eyeballs and no eye sockets, just the sockets themselves. And big, gaping black mouths, where it doesn't look like there's anything inside of them. I can barely tell what I used for this here. For these textures here. The thing was, the more the entity is... The more the entity variations, like SCP, let's say 100A, for example. I don't know what 100 is. I'm just using the A and B system example. The Cortex blights minions as they go in... Wait a minute. Oh, right. I forgot. As they go further into unblighted territory, the area gets blighted. And if I remember correctly, the characters had like pills that made them immune to it. But it turned out it was harming their bodies to a point where even taking one slates you for death later in the future. Might not be that far into the future, but it will slate you for death. And there's giants that can be made, but I don't know how that occurred. I can't remember. Whoops! And also, you need to be quiet. I know muting it doesn't necessarily like mute the sound effects for recording, but because this is art time and there is no need to record desktop audio, we are golden. But yeah, the Blight Cortex was definitely an interesting one that came from a strange little alternate universe. There it is. The Head Gobbler. This thing came to me in a dream, playing Left 4 Dead 2, as I see the zombies get eaten up and turned into void dust. And then Rochelle, and then there goes Coach, and boom, 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 and whatnot. Yeah, the Void Eater, the Head Gobbler is a creature that the more it consumes, the bigger it gets. And it starts off as an atom. But once it eats enough atoms to grow a tiny bit big enough, still atom size pretty much, it can then consume whatever. So you're just out in a field, and the field says, "Warning, dangerous entities located within this field. Do not step inside." You don't step inside. Because if you do, there's a chance that one of those little head gobblers, and they move fast as fuck in atom form. It's like, here's you walking, here's them in their atom form. And then they just eat you up, and they turn into the head gobbler. And they sound like they're constantly, like, it's like, they constantly have something in their throats, like, or something like that. You can hear it sounds like you can hear their throat kind of just bubbling as they groan and moan. I can't do it right now because I don't think my voice is at a certain tone. But yeah, it's a very terrible way to go. As soon as it consumes you, you're not inside of its stomach. You get deatomized completely. Unless your body is immune to deatomization, you will be dead immediately. If your body is immune to deatomization, I don't think the entity can take any nutrition from your body at that point. Because now you are just sitting there inside of it. Inside of this dark area. Not moving, not doing anything. But that was the entire creation of that. It literally came to me in a dream. And that was a long time ago. And I tried my best to recreate it, and I got it pretty damn close. That's the best representation I was able to make of that monstrosity. Now that is unique. Well, I don't know. I definitely dreamed of it, though. I definitely remember that scene very vividly. I don't know why. I've had multiple freaking Left 4 Dead dreams, despite the fact that sometimes when I have them, I haven't played that game in ages. I had one where I was like no-clipping through the floor and there was a tank. It's like destroying everybody. Yep, I was no-clipping. But, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely something that was a bit strange to see in the dream. I had this one weird dream where Markiplier stabbed me. I don't know why. I didn't really feel it. It was like, he just like... it looked serious or something, I don't know. I have some weird dreams sometimes. I had one weird dream where I was this cat lady, and who was getting stuck by this, and, it was like, it sounded like buzzing. And then every stick was making parts of my body numb until eventually the entire screen, was covered by these things. As I tossed the crate onto this masked man who was doing this, I think we both died there. I don't know, that was a weird dream. It was definitely nightmare-esque, but wasn't enough to really, scar me like it would have been in the past. Can I find another entity to show you before? Oh yeah, I was in the wrong one. There was a devil statue, but I don't remember what this thing was. I think it was just basically a statue that came to life. I can't remember. And all these freaking portrait-sized things. There was the pepper choker. This thing, where these people ate peppers with faces on them, and the family then turned into to this. That was definitely something. Definitely something indeed. And if I can get one more before I move on over to the next one. I don't think it's on this album. Was it in 33? Was it in 33? I don't know. These are old... Oh yeah, here's the drawing I was talking about. This man getting his arm bent in a different direction because of the disconnected. You can see the disconnected, they see this as abnormal. Or no, they see this as abnormal. That poor man. The Demon Realm is definitely another friggin' frightening creation of mine. Where is another one? I can't... Ah, yes, the Hypnotic Ground. This one was interesting. Basically just... Actually, I don't remember what this one did exactly. I can't remember what this one did exactly. It hypnotized you, obviously, but I can't remember the exact thing it did. Alright, well, that's enough of memory lane with the entities for now. We've been at this for over only 39 minutes, really? Well, that's good, I guess. This is getting late, so... I think what I'm going to do is probably post this on a Tuesday. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so he's on a couch right now. He's taken inside of the, what do you call it? Inside of the unknown entity tracker's little room. Where he is going to inform everybody in his organization about the mysterious entity. Yeah, just imagine all the entities I created so far, because there's more. I have more planned on the list. Just imagine all of those entities, topped off with all the other horrifying creations we've made, invading our universe. Invading everything and everyone. It is definitely a nightmare scenario. We, as human beings, can create fucked up things. We can. We are capable of creating screwed up things far beyond anyone's comprehension. And because of that, we could potentially spell the end of ourselves or another universe. So just think about it. Somewhere out there, there's a universe being affected by the awakening. Everybody's dying left and right. Monsters roam the streets, trying to find anything to kill. Entities fighting each other for dominance or something else. It is definitely a mess. To say the least, to be within the world affected by the mysterious entities awakening, there's no survival. Humanity is done. You could probably survive on your own, but your world will live in perpetual darkness. Food will be almost impossible to come by. Not just animals are dying out. Let's not forget, this event will cause everything to die. Like, if the Pixel Screamers were to ever be shown, this is going inwards, inside of our... Yeah, there it goes. If the Pixel Screamers were to be shown inside of this, little incursion, we would die of starvation. Because there would be no food. All the food would be affected by the Pixel Screamer. Actually, if the Pixel Screamer came into play, I'm pretty sure many freaking entities and whatnot that, are not immune to its effects are going to just die out. Depends, really. I believe so. Unless there's some other force that's preventing the entities from getting completely screwed by the Pixel Screamers. Which would make sense. And you got the escorter that's just trying to bring entities into other universes, other timelines of this universe, other universes in general. The escorter, he's busy. During the time of the awakening, the escorter is usually the busiest. It's usually the busiest time where you will mostly see entities from all over the world entering into places they're not supposed to enter. To say the least, I'll bring this down. A large majority of the collection of monsters and creations that we have made throughout the course of time is definitely going to spell the end of us. Like, there's this one entity, the Husk Maker. It turns you into a husk. I can't remember exactly what it looked like before when I first thought of it, but not only does it turn you into a husk, but everything gets covered in this flesh-like substance, and a maze is created. A maze is created. That is like, that's city-destroying levels of, horror right there. And the further out it goes, the more it causes destruction. I know I had another one here, but I think it started to spread out a bit as we went further. Like towering, the Hideous Hider, which I've showed you before, which is like that one SCP that you can't look at in any way, shape, or form. The only difference is you can't look at him or be seen by him or be near him. And he can get to you in space, I think. Then there's also the Towering Patroller. This thing that has these little shadow monsters inside of these buildings. And that's all for now. Oh, well, there's the escorter was the last one, so this is the last one I made. Yeah, you've seen the escorter before, but there he is. There he is, about ready to either bring something into that particular part of the universe, like locking that there down. He's a very busy clown, escorting monsters around the worlds and whatnot. So, yeah. Not fun. Not fun at all. To try to survive in a world with monsters like that. It would put any horror movie to shame. Well, I guess technically it is meant to be like, you know, the most powerful being's main source of power, or major source of power, main source of power is us creating and whatnot. Yeah, that's definitely an understatement. Mysterious entity's major source of power. It wants to create the awakening in multiple universes so it can get even more power from the destruction and devastation. Hell, I fear many anime protagonists, like Goku definitely, probably would have struggles trying to survive in a world like that. Even Saitama would meet his match. Shaggy, you know it. So many things to take into consideration. And a lot of the things are able to basically trump those with complete and total power. However, there are some that do have the ability to be immune to it because of a certain power that they've unlocked. Now, we say that most of them probably, but I don't think they have this level of advanced power to be able to reach the same level of immunity. Even so, the entire world is pretty much dead within an hour. There's not really much you can do to save it at that point. Even Beer is trying to bring back time for like a little bit. We'll save it. Or Weiss, I guess. Technically, I think Weiss is the one that does that, if I remember correctly. Not even those two trying to bring time back to what it was before isn't going to stop it. It's a very strange event. One that transcends time. Once it occurs, it cannot be stopped. Unless you're able to kill off every single entity. Now, don't get me wrong. Jericho is a badass. You all know Jericho. First episode of Art Time I drew him. You know, this guy right over here. That guy right over here. Him. He's powerful. He has the strength. He has the power to basically destroy the entities. But even during an event like this, he won't be able to kill every one of them. He could try. Problem is, the awakening will continuously create more and more entities to flood into the world. And even if you can kill all the entities on Earth and somehow manage to salvage enough people to try to rebuild, it's no guarantee that they won't just come back to you from a different planet. Like that, the Cis-Hive, another entity that I drew a long time ago, but I have no idea where the hell this would have been. Oh, there it is, 29. Yeah, this thing, this monstrosity, which basically just creates these unsightly cysts all over your body. And the longer you stay within their range, the closer you become to turning into these zombies with cysts on their bodies, trying to spread the Cis-Hive's influence and whatnot. Yeah. They have the ability to jettison one of their hives into space, and they can survive in space. They could do that and get the trajectory almost perfect to hit another planet. So, yeah. And with that, you would probably see like something that doesn't look like what the drawing I just showed you looked like. No. What you will probably see is whatever alien head that took over a large majority of the planet that has been taken over. So yeah, all things considered, even if you can't kill every single entity, everything there, another entity is going to show up from another planet. And then the cycle starts all over again. The only way you'd probably be able to save a planet from that constant devastation is if you were to take them out of it. If you were to take their entire planet out of it and into another universe. The only way, like I said, the only way to truly avoid the awakening is if you somehow had the ability to travel to a different universe. Those who have unlocked this ability already and has set up shop in a pocket universe, the same style as the Unknown Entity Trackers and the Realm of the Cats Weird Factory. You know that one, right? The Weird Factory. Those that have that ability, they can try what they can to try to save those who are in that situation. But it won't be easy. The awakening starts in an instant. As soon as it starts, thousands upon thousands of entities pour into the universe. Every second. Every millisecond. They pour in somewhere. Doesn't matter where. They could pop up right in front of you and you wouldn't notice. Until it was too late. Imagine you get the Hideous Hider just popping up right in front of your worldview and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Terrible spawn. And they just... I want a reef. As you try to say you want a refund, you just get your entire head turned into a red smear. At that point, you just gotta kind of laugh it off and be like, well, shoopity poop, time to die. And then you get wrecked in more ways than one. This is One-Way Mirror, by the way. It's less of a interrogation room with this guy in here, and more like we're trying to get information from him that he's willing to divulge. Because of this, you know, you get a little bit more of a hint as to what's going to occur. I'm sorry to say that even if you have all the knowledge in the world to be able to deal with the entities that would be pouring into your universe, there's nothing you can really do to stop it. There's really nothing. Sure, you could probably try to kill whatever is, like, keeping most of these beings within check somewhat. But it wouldn't help. At the end of the day... I don't know if that's what I want. At the end of the day... You're just... It won't do anything. They'll just go around doing whatever they want and just killing whatever they want. I mean, they already kind of just kill whatever they want, entities included. And I say entities, but, you know... Would you say most horror villains is an entity? And, I mean, I guess entities are basically just like, beings of some form that, are unknown. Kind of like an alien would be, except it's, you know... Entities definitely do. It's like SCPs, or another thing I can't remember. It's like SCPs, I guess is the best way to describe it. The entities are. Where they have varying effects. But they're not like SCPs in the sense that they're just like random objects. Well, I guess there is that statue. It's like living beings capable of causing mass harm and destruction. It's not like the frickin' SCP-999, I think it is. But basically, it's just peanut butter doing a little bit of the tea to you. You know what the tea is? I don't know why I'm censoring it since I've said it before. The tickle monster. And then there's like, I can't remember anything that was passive. I guess there was one version of the ear teddy bear that was passive. The one that's covered in something is not. Unless that's the same teddy bear. I don't remember. I create my own stuff, and even I can't remember it. You expect me to remember SCPs? Being a creator like myself, sometimes I'm not able to remember every single creation I've made. Which is the thing. There's no way you can remember every single creation you've created. Especially when I created hundreds, thousands. I think I technically do have 1,000 OCs, if you count the entities, the demons, and every other thing that was like one-offs. I've made a lot. And the animals, if you count the animals, technically they would also be OCs. Like Oinker, who unfortunately died and had a reincarnation, quote-unquote. Needless to say, I have a lot of creations. So many. So freaking many. The amount of episodes that we have on Art Time currently, that we just recently passed 100, is only but a small fraction. 1/13. And even so, I made more than 100 throughout the entire course of the year. I had some drawings that I didn't make videos of. One that I made a video of, but was silenced by this stupid computer updating, and the OBS was like, huh? Computer update? There's no sound drives now all of a sudden. Can't just automatically go to the nearest one. Nope, gonna need your input for that instead of, automatically doing it yourself. So far, we haven't had that incident again, but it's annoying when it occurs. Especially when you get an entire video done with it and you can't hear anything, and now you're pissed because you just uploaded a pointless video. Silent video. And I wouldn't even be able to add subtitles to it. How annoying. Stupidly annoying. Something that should be fixed. Anyways, yeah. I did have more entities, older ones from... oh yeah, how could I forget? I didn't think this was an entity at first. I don't know why. Why was I on 29 again? Oh yeah, the cyst high. Bloodshed Fred. You know that Fred guy from from Courage the Cowardly Dog. You know that guy? The barber guy? Well, guess what? I created an entity of him. And he's constantly killing Hank Hill. This is an old one, too, so I'm surprised how decent the character looks. The background definitely could have used improvement. That's Peggy right there. And I think Bobby's somewhere around there, too. I think I even told you the story about that little weird story where it was basically just survive till till like 6 a.m. as well as do a few other things to try to like escape. Because just simply escaping isn't going to be enough. Because I think, Freaky Fred, Bloodshed Fred could come to get you. Every time he goes after Hank, he sticks a needle in him and various effects occur. Hank Hill has multiple death animations till eventually the last death animation occurs where he turns into a mutant and the experiment is a success. Yes, sirree. There are so many variations. I think there was one where Hank Hill's entire body just broke off into multiple different cubes. And it sounded like thick, clacking blocks falling down onto the floor as he, shatters. There was probably one where his head shrunk until it, shrunk into nothingness as he's like, his voice gets, high-pitched deeper. And then, dead. All of these experimental effects. Bobby and Peggy die with a head explosion. But, now Hank, on the other hand, he's got various effects. Something about Hank that Bloodshed Fred wants him. Nobody really knows. I don't really know why, but he wants an army or something. There's also one with an undead babe. I think the idea was she was supposed to be like a normal person who then turned into a zombie and had an unsatiable quench or blood and whatnot. Let me adjust this a little bit. Yep, a normal zombie that had an she died and then turned into a zombie, but was able to transport back and forth. However, the transformation caused issues, and she was more murderous and whatnot. Oh, this is not an entity, but I remember this one. I had a strange dream. This one, I think that was me back there. You know, this one was very strange, because I can't remember what it was. There's this whole story with the police reading this child's freaking diary of how this occurred. Like, I can't remember. It was upsetting. And it was weird that it was like somewhat of a dream that I could vaguely remember. And there's poor old me. I somehow made it out alive. Everybody else kind of just, got screwed. I think you can even see a little bit of the monster of her right over here. Hard to say. Old drawings are a bit more difficult to figure out. My God, that was a dream. That was a dream that just, man. And I turned it into a drawing. Yeah. Terrible, terrible dream from long, long ago. Woo, woo, God. Okay, yeah, but that's what occurred. There was another one. Oh yeah, the face eraser. This thing. This thing is definitely very creepy. Look at this motherfucker. Look at this mofo. I believe the story was this firefighter was literally flung into the ceiling and had his entire face burned off and the rest of his body burning off from the second floor fire. And he was put into a hospital. I think it was like a hospital / mental hospital, so he treated normal patients and psycho patients. Then he turned into this monstrosity with this mask forming. And when he puts his hand against your face gets erased. And it is as horrifying as you think. Because when your face gets erased, you're not dead. Not immediately, at least. But you are going to slowly suffocate to death. Yes, that is right. That is right. You are going to slowly suffocate to death. Because there is no face there. There is no hole for the air to go in. You'll just feel like a little freaking this kind of going in and out as you're trying to breathe. This little pocket where your mouth and nose used to be. You're blind. Everything is dark. There's no sight. Everything is just black. And until eventually you just run out of air and die. And I believe he was able to fit through pretty much anything. Which means he could go through a very small space. Man, you're really taking your sweet ass time, huh? There we go. Like you saw that window, he broke through it and fit through there despite his size. Now that one was definitely a bit creepy. There was also another one. Let me finish off this door at least before I show it to you. There was also another one, if I can find it. If I can find it, it could be anywhere, really. Yeah, that's where the hypnotic grounder is. I gotta go further back more. Yeah, the split half. This thing. Oh yeah, look at that monstrosity. I can't remember the exact reason behind this thing's creation. It was some weird cult basement area and somehow somebody got cut in half and turned into this thing. I can't remember what it did to you. This is the one thing I can't exactly remember what it did. It either ate you or tried to rip you in half. I don't know, you'd have to read it. Look up Split Half on my DeviantArt page. You'll probably find it. Probably. Oh, there was a Devil Child too. This one was less of a gore, but more of a very psychological horror, where this creepy child turned her parents into dolls, and is basically just using some, slave monster, turning people into monster slaves to run the hotel. Oh, the story in that, if I remember correctly, the story in that was fucked up. A lot of creepy, predatory stuff. Causing, I think the uncle was the first. Was it the uncle? Look, it's been a while. See what I mean? I can't remember every single thing. Despite the fact that it's a messed up story, maybe that's why I can't remember it, because it's so messed up. It is a messed up story. I'm thinking about making a planner pot here for some reason. I don't know why. I just want to make a planner pot here. And I got a new texture to, like, try to experiment with that I made for the trees. But yeah, that was definitely. There's the story for that and how that demon child came to be. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for certain. Where was another one? Where was another one? Looks like there was like a little hiatus here because I can't find any in this particular album. I think we're getting closer to the end of the beginning portion. Like there's one with a hanging marionette. There's chop puppets. That one was definitely freaky. Look, it's Houston's bags. He got chopped up. Houston's got destroyed. Basically, this puppet just like carved you up in like a second with its knife. And it did whatever it wanted to your body parts. Man, the older drawings are way more grotesque. Oh, actually, it's been a while since I've done Reginald's Macabre cases, so I haven't exactly been able to go back into the messed up. Now, this one is definitely messed up. This is the hangman. I can't remember the exact reason, but I think he either got dumped or stood up by her, and she went for him, and then he turned into this thing when he killed himself. He either hung himself. Oh, yeah, he must have hung himself because there's a wound there. Yeah, he took you into a pocket dimension and hung you until you died and made you dance like marionettes. The funny thing is, that was inspired off of this metal song called Dance Like Marionettes, or whatever the hell it was called. I don't think that was the exact one. Give in to the symphony, I think it was another lyric instance. That's what it was inspired by, believe it or not. That was musical-inspired monstrous horror. There was I think that wasn't I think that was the second one. This one was probably an old one. This had to have been like album 16. Oh no, there was the old Predator. Right. I think. No, I don't. Let me freaking. Okay, look at the old Predator for a second while I look up the album for Reginald's Macabre cases. Yeah, the old Predator is exactly what you think. It's not good. Yeah, if I remember correctly, there was a constrained. Yeah, there's 4 different classes: constrained entities, viral entities, universal entities, and dimensional entities. Yeah, dimensional entities are the ones that you can't really escape too easily, even if you could escape to a different dimension. Oh yeah, the hideous hider is a universal entity. Yeah, so he definitely can go into space and destroy any aliens that decide to try to go there. Try to see him. And the constrained ones are the ones that kind of constrain in one spot. Yeah, hold on. Let me scroll through this. Yeah, I missed a few, obviously. There's a lot. I don't know exactly how many there is. Let's see. 12, 16, that would be 28, 38. Yeah, we have 38 entities? Really now? Yeah, the old Predator was the second one. Right. The thing that you're seeing right now on the screen. Yeah, that's that guy. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then that would mean that the Headless Psycho, I think the name was. I didn't even look at the name, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it was called the Headless Psycho. Wherever I drew that one. It definitely is an old one. Definitely is an old one. Yeah, there was a mutation, too. I never did anything with these. There's a tormented ghost, too. Jump scare. Whew. That thing. But that's not an well, it could be an entity. Only when the Headless Psycho came into play did I start, like, making entities. Was it not here? Really? There was also the mutation as well. Was that an entity? I can't remember when Reginald's Macabre cases started. It had to have been 15. Yeah, because there's the river, but I didn't turn that into an entity. No. Would it have been 16 then? No, it can't be. It's not here. Unless I'm remembering the name wrong. It wouldn't be 17. Where would that have been? And there's a creepy doll. These are old drawings. Where the fuck was the Headless Psycho again? Why can't I find this thing? Where the freak are you? 12? Yeah, there was the Psycho Nurse. Oh, there's a Headless Psycho. Wait a minute, does that mean we have more? Yeah, this is appearing in the first one of Reginald's Macabre cases, I think. I'm gonna have to look at that at some point. It's fine. It's fine for now. We might have more that I didn't even realize we had more of, because there's a lot of, creatures that I've made, but I don't think I made them a part of Macabre cases. Or at least I didn't know I made them a part of Macabre cases. Well, you know what? Older drawings, it came from an older album area where we didn't really have any plans for it. Reginald's Macabre cases came later, and then we continued building off of it from there. Glad we continued building off of it, though. It definitely is interesting, trying my skills out in creating such horrific monstrosities. We even got a couple of dream entities and one daydream entity. That's the one thing to take away from any quote-unquote nightmare, is that I can use the monstrosities that I come across there as inspiration for entities. Granted, I haven't had any of those in a long while. I don't exactly know what I've been having, but it definitely was, wow, taking ages to get this done with, huh? Definitely was a long time since I've had another dream of some entity. Definitely. And I guess it makes sense. It's been a while since I've done anything with Reginald's Macabre cases. That's because it's on hiatus for the sake of the Demon Realm. The Demon Realm needed a little bit of attention and whatnot, and we did that. Okay, I'm just going to make this planter pot here. And we're going to get a plant here. I want to try something here before I fully get to finishing this. I got a very specific swatch that I made for trees of this, that I first used in hardcore mature drawings. Yeah. This thing. And you're probably wondering, ooh, that just looks like the brush that you've made. The grass brush that you have been using. It's not. It's connected, as you can see. Whoop, no, planter 1B. So, I wanted to try to get this to be like that, and have that going up here. Now, I use this for something specific, which was a, what do you call it? Trees, pine trees. Remember that Bob Ross drawing I did? Well, I had the inspiration to try to create a new brush for pine trees. And I'd say we did pretty good. Okay, hold on. I can give you a sneak peek, because this is technically $10 view. I'm going to go back, and also I can't show you all of this anyways. Alright, page up. Everything closed? Good, great, okay. Here we go. Open up, zoom in, zoom in more, and page down. Okay, good, great, fantastic. Grab this. This is what I did with the trees here. Yeah, I mean, technically this is a $10 view, but I'm only showing you the background. See, here's the trees. This is what the trees look like. And here's a little sneak peek of what's going on over here. Can you guess what's going on? What's that? What's this over here? Oh, what is coming up on the... Oh, it's a fist. It's a fist. Whose fist could that be? That's all you get to see. And, okay, I didn't accidentally put that over. But, yeah, I tried that out in hardcore mature drawing nonetheless. But you know what? That's still good. Because that means I learned a new texture that I can use for both mature and safer work. A case in point, right here. This planet pot, right there. And it's not even being used for a tree, it's being used for a new type of plant. This is something that I need to do in general. I need to expand my plant brush instance. I have so many things I just use only that of. I need to use more. I need more. I gotta make more. I think that's texture enough. I don't think we need textures there. Maybe this one could be a little bit like brick-like. Wow. It's funny how that one is way more noticeable, but this one requires it to be at 10 to be noticeable. Okay, good, great. Well, now that all the distractions are done with, it's time to finish this drawing off. I'm not going to have enough time to post it today, but that's fine. I'm probably going to play a little bit of Plate Up and continue to work on practicing on that after I watch an episode of Adventure Time. We have a, chicken parm left over. Yep. Which, by the way, I have an idea as to when I'm going to, make that series. It's going to probably be on the break week of Sonic Adventures 2. The 1 week break where we're going to make 2 episodes, and then after that, Sonic Adventures 2 returns with Season 2, or I guess Chapter 2. I guess it's technically not a season since it's, not like 24. Yeah, Chapter 2, Sonic Adventures 2, where we try to get everything A-ranked. Get 180 emblems. The Chow races and Chow karates are done with, thankfully, so that's less of anything for us to worry about. But still. A-ranking everything is going to be the most difficult freaking thing you could ever imagine. I'm not going to like it. So I've decided to do 1 episode a week of that. As having to do 2 is bad enough. Having to do 4... I can already feel the headache coming as I think about it more. Having to do a freaking batch for an entire month. Ooh-wee. Yeah, no. I think this is better. And then every Thursday will be Plate Up after that. So I guess once March comes, Plate Up starts with a special 2 episodes in 1 week. And then it will be 1 episode on a Thursday. Eventually we're going to have 6 series on the channel. Our time being one that's spontaneous and has no schedule. And it's usually posted at night. And everything else that has a schedule always posted at 12 where I'm from. 11 from YouTube's perspective, apparently. But 12 where I'm from, when I wake up. Then, of course, well, the only other series I have is Room Vlog. And I only did 1 episode of that, and not ever again. I wonder if I could do, like, a read-off episode. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. A read-off episode. Where I basically read off some, scripts of Reginald's Macabre cases. If I can come up with a voice that sounds like, Reginald Franklin, or in this case, I guess Sir Hammerlock, because that's the voice I imagine Reginald Franklin has. Hello, Vault Hunters! I have money and a problem. Yeah, I can't do his voice. I don't even think I can get his voice exact. I don't think my tone can reach that. I could probably reach his perflection, or whatever the hell it's called. Inflection. I cannot remember this word. But yeah, I could definitely do some read-offs from the past, and even read off some new entities I'm going to be making. This is not really a series that can go on infinitely, so maybe, like, I don't know, once a month I can read an expert from one of the drawings that I've made. I don't know. Some idea I have in mind. Something that's probably not going to be consistent, but, you know, depends. Alright, sci-fi landscape. I guess technically it is sci-fi. So, U.E.T. interrogation group. I'm spelling interrogation right. I am. I didn't look right at first, but apparently I did. While it is an interrogation room, it's less of, forceful interrogation and more of, trying to coerce interrogation. In this case, though, it's literally just an entity trying to divulge information to somebody who is willing to listen, who can understand him. As he must let the world know of the mysterious entity. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what the hell kind of color I need for this. I guess I could probably do... and the purple might work. And have orange in the background. I must say, though... wait a minute. To have an entity like this just drop the information right down in their laps, they must consider themselves extremely lucky for this thing to come into their graces. I know I would. Trying to come up with some clue of this one entity that you have been trying to, like, get information of for a long time now, but could not. And it makes sense. The mysterious entity is not something that many people know about. Diverging information about it, most people who do know about it probably isn't really able to say much about it or can't articulate it in any way, shape, or form. I, on the other hand, seem to have no problem with it. I would say make a little cheeky insert of the mysterious entity's faded form here, but this is a U.E.T. Mysterious entity can't get into this dimension. And even if he can, there's not much he can do about it. They have people who can destroy entities of vast power, which is impressive. That is impressive. Most entities can't just be killed by, like, normal means. Some entities are perceived to be invincible. And, quite frankly, downright OP. Which makes sense. Most horror creations are of that variation. Some entities you can't just kill with a gun or a superpowered laser blast. Especially the dimensional entities. Those have kind of reached a very specific point where they're not really, able to die. Like the Time Linker especially. Touching that thing just once just puts you out. You're just dead at that point. Like, you're perceived dead. You're unable to do anything. Once you get hit by its body touch, that's it. Nobody can survive that one unless somebody's an extreme masochist. And even then, the pain might be too much for that extreme masochist to handle. I don't know. I imagine if Goku were to be touched by that, he would experience severe pains far beyond any reasonable means. But Super Saiyans seem to get stronger the closer they are to death. And Goku would be close to death 1,000,000 times over and unable to die. But the amount of pain he would feel, at that point, I think all the pain would eventually get him to Super Saiyan 9001. And, that probably is good. It might get him to a point where he has experienced enough pain where he's given too much power, And now he's able to one-shot Beerus. Yep. And yeah, that's the Super Saiyan he wanted, so I guess wish granted. But not at being completely humiliated. He gets punched so goddamn badly that the clothes on his body just gets disintegrated. And, well, apparently he does have a schlong, according to U.E.T when he got out of the frickin' or was that Chaba? I can't remember. I try not to remember. I try not to think about anthropomorphic cat dick. Yep, I try not to. And I hope you try not to. Unless you're into that stuff, then go fish, I guess. Go fish, Barney. I'm not gonna judge you. I am. But I also like certain stuff that are judgeable, so we all will judge each other in this life of judge. I don't want fog, I want effects. So yeah, Time Linker, it probably would overpower Goku, or he would just keel over and scream a bunch and never die. Because, you know, that's the way it is. I don't know if you would consider that to be a supernatural ability, supernatural being. Definitely does feel supernatural. It phases through the goddamn walls. And when it touches you, you experience all the pain all of you felt throughout the entirety of all universes, timelines, dimension, whatever. That's just insane. So realistically speaking, can any of those overpowered shonens survive being touched by that? Probably not. I'm gonna be honest with you, probably not. Unless they're able to disconnect their physical bodies from themselves and give themselves a new one, where that old physical body like dies out while their soul moves over into one that isn't being inflicted by this horrific effect. That would be the only way. The only way to free yourself from the perpetual pain of eternal torment and torture from all versions of you throughout multiple universes. Yep. Only way. My way. Yes, sir. I wanted to click on the yellow, you fool. Give a little bit more yellow to the light here. And I think I need some dark blue to try to make some of the area up here a tiny bit dark, but not too much. Not too much. Just a little bit. Yes, sir. This messenger entity is good. I mean, I think most of the entities in the newer generation are good. It's just they seem like monsters. Especially if you work for an organization whose sole purpose is to look for this thing's ancestor. Oh, that looks good. Let me try other things before I finish that up. That looks good too. You know what? Actually, yeah, we'll do that one. That one looks good. Real good. I'll stick with that one. I could probably do both. Dual colors? Maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Like that around the entity and the couch itself. I have it mostly be like orange round. There we go, folks. I'm glad we got to talk more about the entities that I've created. Y'all never got to see that. We never made anything like that yet on the channel. Although by the time we get enough audience to like look at all of this and this gets thousands of views somehow, then it's probably already been made, one of them. Because April and whatnot. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, anyways, there's the first clue. With effects, without effects. With effects, without effects. Definitely an interesting creature. Here to help out, but yeah. Anyways, almost an hour and a half. Good enough time to wrap this up. So with that being said, thank y'all for watching today's episode of Our Time. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe for more, check out that there playlist, and of course, this episode of Our Time right over here. and the most recent episode of, well, it's going to be a Tuesday, so Minecraft ROTC Edition. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Later.